Hey folks, Scott Grove here from GroovyMusicLessons.com, still doing the insufferable challenge that I put on myself and making it go so long just because I don't know when to fucking shut up. And that's right, I'm just answering your questions from Ask Scott Grove Anything, and this is hour 10, I believe. I was just trying to think, but I can't remember, of course. So I'm going to say hour 10, and I will put a disclaimer up here in the form of a, what the hell they call it, annotation, in case I fucked that up. Okay, anyway, at the end of session 9, or hour 9, where were we at? We're talking about Spinal Tap, which I could talk about forever. Okay, we got down to the part of, is there a Spinal Tap moment from your career you could tell us about? You rock and all that stuff. Okay, and again, that was part 2 from Strum Fun, and he's got 2 more in here that I see. Anyway, my best Spinal Tap moment, which led to me one of my most valuable lessons ever that you guys should know, if you don't know already, again, involves my infamous pink paisley strap from most of my entire road career, and which involves this particular section too. Okay, so doing the typical thing, taking the guitar, spinning it, and it goes around your body and you catch it again. Okay, even though, yeah, it had strap locks, but those don't hold. They hold your guitar from just falling off under normal circumstances. But when you do the guitar spin thing, generally, the bottom strap button, no matter what it is, will pull out. Okay, I said pull out. Anyway, so it did, and the stage I was on was, let me see, I'm trying to think how tall people are, about shoulder height, from a cement dance floor, pure cement, and they wax it type of thing, you know, and make it look all shiny like a skating rink that didn't have wooden floors, that type of looking thing. Okay, so of course it was this guitar with the original Godo tuners. It has Grover on her now, again because of that incident, and that's where that happened, that particular big hunk of chunk, and where one of these came into play, where it simply just stripped it out of there, and my guitar went flying, and it went, see, I got like this, and it came around, and it went over my shoulder this way, then it let loose, went flying, and from shoulder high, and then some of me, and shoulder high again, so like somebody standing on top of my shoulder. So we're looking at a 7 or an 8 foot drop of this guitar right onto the dance floor, and it landed straight on its back, like this, boom. Okay, so had it been a Gibson, it would have been history. Okay, so you gotta love regular headstocks, straight. If they angle back, that guitar's history. Had I broke the neck on this, I'd have just put another neck on and been ready to roll. I wouldn't have lost the guitar. So again, one more from my side for these type of guitars. So I had that, which is fine. All this other stuff came from me being in country bands and having to have a guitar on where I could wear the belt and look the part and have the button-up Garth Brooks shirts and let them do all that damage back here. Okay, so this guitar is the utility guitar. If I have to go play gigs or I'm contractually obligated to dress up, then I will take this guitar, because number 1, it's great, and number 2, I can go ahead and bang it up as much as I want. But I am anal about everything. So anyway, so yeah, that guitar, it went flying. That was my moment. So yeah, typical, and I was videotaping that. I'll have to show that, I guess, to try to get some good stuff for promo. And no spare guitar. Okay, first set. So what I do? Okay, what it did, besides that, was broke off the button here on my high E tuner. As you can tell from things here missing, there you go, you can see where the Godos were and where the Grovers have been put on. So I had to get my channel locks and put it on the shaft of what was left here since the button broke off, machine head here, and put it on there in order to tune. So I just grab it on there and tune it and get it there and then release it. But then I just screwed that right back into a new hole real quick and tuned up, and I was good to go. So again, another great thing for these headstocks. Since then, I've got a thing, you know how people have, you know, out in your typical garage, you have your parts drawer, you know, for, well, all your wood screws, your other things, you know, the big plastic thing with all the millions of drawers. So I have that in my rack case that I carry just spare guitar parts, and so I have spare lace sensor pickups in there. I have a few sets of tuners. I've got a bunch of different kinds of bridges, all brand new that I just robbed parts from, little springs for the pickups or the little rubber ones, because if a pickup goes out and you have to hurry up and change one real quick, and you're going to lose that spring, and you better have another one right there. So I have spare parts for every guitar that I have, that I would ever use on a stage anyway, right there, and you know, everything's kept powered up and ready to roll. So anything falls off, I can put a new set of tuners on and a moment's notice, a new bridge right away, or just replace a saddle or whatever needs to be replaced. A couple of spare warm-up necks out there, just, you know, don't matter whether it's 3 or 4 bolt, you just stick it on and you keep going. So that's my kind of, I'm just trying to hang this back up on the ceiling here, damn near. If you've seen the past videos, you can tell where this is located, way up in the air where I can't fucking reach. I normally have to get the step ladder out to get that. But that's one of the many things, and I'll just have to do the rest in a road stories video that I promised to do. Okay. That was Strum for Fun. Okay, let's see. Next, same guy, Strum Fun. I say ignore the haters. I say it too, but sometimes I just can't do it because I can't. But do you think the haters need you more than you need them? Yeah, everybody keeps telling me, you know, the ones that tell me just don't feed the trolls, man. It's like, I'm mentally incapable of not feeding them. I don't know why, I just, something in my brain feeds them and I have to do it, so. And they just piss me off so much, and I know it's not good on me, and I've got heart problems too, and I take my nitro spray all the time, and but yeah, they just work me up, and I don't know who, I think people just love killing me, and they know they are, so it's sad, but I let it happen to them, but I can't help letting that happen, so there you go. Who's your favorite South Park character? God. I'm going with the 2 blondes, man. I gotta go with Tweak and Butters. Just something about both of them. Of course, Tweak, it's too much pressure. And then Butters is just always in trouble for everything. But you know, those are my 2. I just love those guys. Yeah, I'll just stay there and leave it at that. Oh. And then the same guy again, Strum Fun. Please do a full video on geometry and biology. Then haha, I would have no problem with doing years and years of videos on those if I had years and years left. Biology, I'm a whiz. Geometry, no problem at all either. Nope, I could do more on those and be able to prove everything because it's in every textbook, and have less stress in my life if I did simply geometry and biology tutorials or answered questions or whatever, because everything is just numbers. Well, not just numbers, but everything's so easily provable. Okay, let's go up to Mr. And yeah, as I put my video onto my computer now and then dumping the hard drive on this camera, I was looking at some of the new questions that were posted that aren't even on the here yet. You're like, how come you haven't answered my fucking question yet? It's like, I'm not even halfway through the goddamn paper yet, so hang the fuck on. I might just block some of those people just because of that. And I've blocked people for less. So, if you've been watching the past, 7 that are currently on, before I started doing these tonight, this was the 3rd one I've done so far tonight, then you would fucking know that I'm getting there in the order that they were received. So go down there and look where yours is at, and then know that I will get there. So put the work into it or shut the fuck up. Okay. This one wants to know if Mr. English Sniper. Did you have a girlfriend in 7th grade? Yeah. I didn't, well, 7th grade is when I actually started playing in clubs. 6, 7 nights a week. So yeah, I had very old girlfriends and different ones most every night. So yeah. Most of them 10 years, 20 years, 25 years older than me. And it sure made me learn a lot of things pretty fast. So yes, I did. And then did I actually have a real girlfriend in school? I learned that I didn't need that at that point. So I quit having girlfriends in school. None of them would put up with the extra curricular activities, and then none of them could possibly do what I was getting elsewhere. So being that young, I didn't see the need for it. Next. Okay, we're not going to be PC here, so that's cool. And good, I liked this one, I just read it. From Transport Dave 38. Which Jap guitar is worth buying? There are so many Jap brands. Tesco, Lotus, Electra, Aria, that I get confused. I want a good Les Paul copy. Which one do you recommend? I love your ramblings. Okay, ramblings I have, and for these answers I have too. As far as the Tesco crap, it's just garbage. There's so many garbage brands out there. Lotus being garbage too. A couple of them weren't horrid, but they're, stay away from them if you can. Electras are great. Okay, so those are great. You forgot Greco and Ibanez, of course, which are going to be your better Les Paul copies from Japan. Of course, I would go with the Ibanez and the Grecos first, and Aria also. Tokai are good once you replace the stuff, but if you want to buy one just stock and not have to change anything, then the Ibanez and the Greco are the way to go. Also, God, if you want to go for a copy, of course there are the Bernie and the Orville, but they're actually Gibson guitars, so they're not going to be as good as the Ibanez will be. The Ibanez is going to be your best copy. Okay. Other Les Pauls, I'm trying to think of brands from way back when. Stay away from goofy shit like Magnum. Stay away from Univox. Stay away. Horrible shit back then, horrible shit still. And I know other people ask about Univox later, so stay away from Univox. It's just horrible. And there's a reason we didn't buy them back then. They suck. No matter what, you can't polish a turd, so they're still no good. And there was something called Aspen that sucked. Yeah, Memphis and all that junk. Stay away from Ibanez. Any of them. Bolt-On's better than the glue-on. So yeah, grab an Ibanez, Bolt-On, or an Electra, or anything made out of that damn factory. Again, Greco, same factory. Any of them. Get a Bolt-On neck though. It's just better. Not according to me, but for real. Okay, where am I at? Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. We're back to Mr. English Sniper again. Did you believe there would be a 2012 Armageddon? No. Not at all. Didn't fall for the 2000 thing either, and this, the world will end when we blow it up. You know, it's just when it's going to happen. It's like, it's just, we will end the earth before the world ends itself. So, okay, we got Luis Hernandez. I want to apologize. Okay. Hey, I like your videos. I will ask some other time. Thanks for a great job. So I guess he wanted to apologize for something. Okay, dude. Appreciate it. Remind me again, though, if you hear this, to tell me why you're apologizing. Okay, next. Last Child 17. Many times my guitar strings will all be in tune, but when I go to play a power chord, it doesn't sound in tune at all. What could be the problem? It could be a couple things. Of course, your intonation just isn't set, so that's normally it. So you have to adjust your saddles on your bridge. Could be that your nut is not cut properly, or deep enough, or it's cut too deep in some places, not correct in the other places. You could simply just have old strings on and they don't go in tune. When strings just get old, being in tune is impossible. They just can't. You know, even though they say they are in tune, you play anything, it can't. Or your action could simply be too high and you're pushing down and everything goes sharp. Check it on a tuner. Okay, push down your low E string, play it on the 3rd fret, look on your guitar tuner. If it's real sharp, you know, maybe your action is just way too flipping high and you need to lower it, and you need to get the relief straightened out on your neck, meaning doing truss rod adjustments. All that setup stuff is available here on YouTube and on my channel. Just look for trusted people who have millions of views or whatever, and don't ever trust people like Expert Village or anything like that. Anything that says expert in the title means they're not, generally. And same with sound gear. Anything that says pro in the title is never not. You know, as far as brand names, it's like American Pro or Gemini Pro or anything. It's like, no, it's not pro. They just put it there to fake you out. Okay, next one. Okay, from Mr. English Sniper again. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Okay, I'll do this one, which is, yeah, I have one real sister. I'll get to see her next month, and we'll go to our class reunion together. Our school was so small that they're doing 5 years worth, so 25th, 26th, 27th, 28, or 26th, 7th, 8, 9, and 30. So 5 years worth of people all doing a reunion at one time, just to have enough people to fill up maybe 25 people in the whole building. So my sister is 40 something, born in 67, so she's a couple years younger than me. 2.5 years younger than I am. And she's got 3 children. She just took my mom in and is taking care of her now that, you know, with the cancer and everything. So, and that just happened August 1st. So, God bless her for that. Then my dad got married remarried when I was like 9 or 10. His wife had twins, a boy and a girl, at about, 1997 is when it would have been. My stepbrother was killed in a head-on car crash he was right there on Georgetown Road, right on the, right at the finish line, actually, of the Indy 500 track. Just on his way home from work and got in a head-on, only doing 35 miles an hour, and killed. And Dad actually was outside and heard it from his house and ran down there and couldn't revive him. And so, and I remember getting the phone call, and I just saw on the caller ID just my dad's phone number. And I looked over at my wife and just said, "Jerry is dead." And I picked up the phone, and it was my dad, and said, "Scott?" I said, "Yep." He goes, "Jerry's dead." I said, "I know." And it's just, that's when I get phone calls, you know, it's just when somebody's dead. But he's getting better at it. And then I've got some others, couple step sisters, from my mom's marriage, but then they got divorced, so they no longer count, but I haven't been in touch with them for a long time. But that's what I've got. Next one from, yeah, I'm on the right page here. Man, God, I'm so damn blind, I'm sorry. Manolus Bar Bapsis. I don't know what the fuck that is. It sounds... You need a shorter name, dude. But anyway, hi Scott. What's your opinion about the Fender Strat set neck with the lace sensor 90s, maybe from the 90s? Set neck Strat with the lace sensors. Opinion about the Fender Strat set neck with the lace sensors. Didn't make one. Unless it was a custom shop thing. There wasn't one. You have to email me or something and give me a link, because I've owned every Strat Plus, every Strat Ultra, every Strat Plus Deluxe, blah blah blah, and none of them were ever a set neck with lace sensors that I've ever seen. I think I've owned every one, and I know them guitars better than Fender knows them for sure, because I've called them. They don't know shit about them. So give me a shout about that one, because I don't know of any such thing, and I would know before anybody on those. Okay, next one. Lykkie. Licky. Did you ever have or heard of which is not correct English, Epiphone by Gibson S500 HSS humbucker single Strat made from the late 80s? They are very rare. I've seen tons and tons and tons and tons of Epiphones like that. I mean, probably thousands. If that's the model number of the S500, then they're not rare. I'll go look it up and maybe come back to this one, but man, there were tons of them. They were no different than like your Yamaha Pacificas from nowadays, you know, just not much of a guitar, but still better than Lotus that was mentioned earlier, or Univox or whatever, but they weren't the quality of the Epiphones of today or before that era. Wasn't a great era at all for Epiphone stuff. Genesis was cool, but I guess they're released again, so okay, so let me know about that one. Next one, David Falafels. What do you think of the ESP M2? Have no idea. I honestly don't. If it's an LTD thing, right off the bat I'll say it's crap, but ESP, they have a hard time. They've had a couple good guitars, but they've got problems over there. Okay, now we're talking about the buzz fighting thing again. Let's see what it is. It's no good, but it comes from user 1013301. Hey Scott, saw your video on the proper way to tune and loved it. Just wanted to know how you feel about the buzz fighting tuning system, which utilizes moving the nut slightly forward and using piano-like tuning theories, blah blah blah. Yeah, it lets you play the first fret in tune. All your other frets, you're back to normal. So that's the way that works. So yeah, it's only good for one fret, first fret, which is usually the most out of tune sounding thing there is. But so it's good for the first fret. But I did cover it earlier in more detail. So thanks for the question. Just perusing as quick as I can over stuff I've answered already. I'm not taking them any lighter, just saying that I've done them. Knuckle Butt 420, so somebody smokes dope. 420, everybody thinks they're being... I actually won't buy things on eBay if their name has the word 420, or if their buy it now price is 420. Just because dope smokers just... Okay, but really I don't. So you people out there that have that 420 in there, just know that it's just as retarded as people, you know, somebody 69, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, that's funny. Okay, but the 420 is just like, dude, grow up. Anyway, so, hey, brother, No question, just hoping your health is good and wanted to say hi. Well, be well, peace. And nanu nanu and all that stuff. Appreciate it, buddy. And sorry about the 420 thing. It's just another pet peeve, but I appreciate the well wishes. Thank you. And that's honest. What is it? Kyle Camenti. Camatini, I'm sorry. Kyle Camatini, 8743. I have a Digitech RP500. Cool. And I was thinking about changing. Why? To actual individual pedals. Why? But they tend to get pretty expensive. Yeah, and they suck. So I was wondering if it's worth changing. As in, is it that big of a tonal difference? No. Thanks, man. Love the videos. No, keep what you got, or just get a better or a higher end Digitech if you want one, or a Boss one, or whatever. But no, individual pedals, no, and they're too pricey. They're like assholes. Everybody's got one. Everybody's making them. There's too many fucking pedals out there. You can buy the everybody's doing it. They're all buying the empty boxes and then putting their own shit in there from Radio Shack, and then hand painting stuff on there, and then you've got $800 pedals for no reason. So the less shit down there, the better. So if you can have it all together in one and it sounds great, do it. And then everything's pretty much in the right order anyway. Or you can find the ones where you can actually, on different patches, pseudo place one effect in a less optimal position in the effects chain, but to get different results for something. You can't do it in real time down there with real pedals and keep changing stuff, but you can with everything else. So why not have all the possibilities in one box? Less cords to fuck up, less power supplies to fuck up. It's all right there. You hit one button, 8 pedals or 8 effects change all at once. It couldn't get simpler. Okay, so that's that. Thank you. Coconut Joe. Have you read... Anybody ask if I read? I don't read. God, last time I was a kid when I read something, and it was Fahrenheit 451, I think, was the last actual book I read. So this person, Coconut Joe, have you read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Pirsig? What was the last book you read? Okay, it's Fahrenheit 451, senior year, last book I read. So I don't know if it's actually about motorcycle maintenance or not, but couldn't tell you anything about that. And then right above it, and again, what book would you recommend to another person? Fahrenheit 451. Let's do some Ray Bradbury, and that's all I know. I did read George Washington Carver stuff and in school, but I just don't read. I read my books or just online about guitar shit. That's it. I don't read about anything else. Okay, so I've answered that. I wish I was more interesting in that as far as being well read. Nick Sweeney, he asks, have you been to a Kiss show? Many. If you have, can you tell us about it? I could. Did you enjoy it? Were you sitting or standing close to the stage, etc.? I've been sitting, standing. Some I've enjoyed, some I haven't. Some I've done monitor mixing for them. I've been down the studio with them when they were doing some just basic, God, there goes my brain again, demo tracks, just because they were on the road and wanted to come in with a small setup, and the gear was there, and they just ran through some stuff and recorded it. But I was really bored on the last one with them on the tour with Motley Crue here in Las Vegas. I was really bored, but in order to see them, I had to stand. My wife said she enjoyed me, just seeing me enjoy myself, but I wasn't impressed with as many shows as I've seen. It was just a bad night. Paul's voice is, he's like he's been gargling with razor blades. Not much in the way of production there at such a huge venue. I was just let down by it. Enjoyed many other ones better. I actually enjoyed the Dynasty tour, I think, more than any of them. It was just finally something different, even though they scaled everything down, and the lighting were still old par cans, you know, 1,000-watt par cans and stuff. But it was cooler when it was, God, even back when AC/DC was opening up, and when it was less, when it was all stripped down, it was still back in the 70s, and I think I liked it back then more. You know, it's just, it was raw, more raw, and just, it was about being a band instead of a show. You know what I mean? Even though everything's still planned out to the T, Paul is still using the exact same banter that he used in the 70s today. He's not a front man in that he can think on his feet. He still has the exact same sayings, transitions between songs. Cold gin. What is it called? What? A cold gin? I can't hear you. No, really, I can't hear you. I was born deaf in my right ear, which he was, but I enjoyed it in the old days. Okay, let's keep rocking. Let me look at my time. Halfway. Okay. And thanks again, Knuckle Butt 420, for the good wishes on the health. Appreciate it. Let's see. Here we go. MOSSOPP. Mossop 91. Okay, more of these. What is your recommendation and or best set of pickups for a Epiphone? Incorrect English. It should be an, for an Epiphone Les Paul. For a great rock, blues, Gibson, DiMarzio, Seymour Duncan, never Duncan, etc., because I want to swap out my Epiphone pickups for an upgrade on pickups. So, rock, blues sound. DiMarzio Super Distortion for the old typical 70s, early 80s sound. Duncan's, I just hate them. Everything they've ever, I never heard a good one. Gibson, God, I hate their humbuckers too, but God, what's the one? A good humbucker. Man, dude. What can I say as far as a good humbucker for rock and blues? I don't like those 10 Shaws either. I don't like the PAFs. I do like the Super Distortions, even though a lot of people don't. God, a good humbucker. I know a good humbucker. Whatever the hell they have in these Court, Gene Simmons, Axe 2 guitars or whatever, the Mighty Mite pickups, those are amazing. I've never heard a better. Okay, there it is. I'm trying to think in here, what's my best sounding humbucker out of all these guitars? The Mighty Mites that are stuck in the cheap ass Court guitars are the best sounding pickups I own as far as the humbuckers go. I've had other people in here do a blind test against Les Pauls, high end Les Pauls, high end everything, and everybody thought that the old Gene Simmons Axe piece of crap. It's not a piece of crap, it's Court, and they make great guitars. And those Mighty Mite pickups, whatever's stock in those, go look it up, whatever. Those sound better than anything I have in the highest dollar guitar I own. Everybody was sure that that was a Les Paul, and everybody thought the Les Paul sounded like the biggest piece of shit in a blind test. And it's right here on my channel. So look up the humbucker blind test thing and listen to it. You'll hear it. If you can't find it, just ask, but just put on my channel, or just put Scott Grove Court, and you'll see the Axe guitar, and then look for the one that actually has the humbuckers in it, because I've got 3 of those in here, and they've got all different things going on in them. But look for the one that's still original, where I did the actual blind test. So that's what I would say. Okay, let's go to, where am I? Here we go. Ethan Cogs Hall. Does scale length affect tone at all? Yes, it does. So, yeah. Especially with bass, or the bottom end, more than anything. The longer the scale, the more bottom end you're going to get, especially on bass guitars. But yeah, it does make a difference. And then, of course, into your baritone, or if you go to 7 strings or 8 strings and still keep the same scale length, which you would love to do, but you're not going to get as much bottom end out of it. But know that you need a longer scale length for your bass strings to have more bottom end naturally, and then you can always recreate it, but which is fine too. I'm not at all against artificially creating more bottom end via just simple processing. But yes, it does. Okay, now from Calvin Schuerman, Scheurman. Hey Scott, here's my question. Why do you go out of your way to acknowledge the trolls? Again, because my brain just can't help but go there. It's just, normally I wouldn't have in my old days, but now I just can't help it. It's part of being guitared now due to the strokes. I hate all the assholes who comment on your videos, me too. Just to be douchebags, me too. But I'm curious as to why you respond to them at all. I shouldn't. I should just block them and block them, delete them, and just go on. And mention them in your videos. And here I am mentioning them. Yeah, it's just because my head's fucked up. They are trying to get a reaction out of you, and if they do, they have won, and they're fucked up little minds. I know that. Don't feed the trolls, Scott. Love your videos. Calvin Lee. Oh, I know Calvin. You're a good dude. Yeah, I'm just fucked up in the head, dude, and I know that I should avoid him, but my mind just secretes adrenaline right away as soon as something negative like that goes on, and I fucking freak, and I can't help it. It's just an illness, or part of an illness. So that's that. I don't want to feed him, and if you could be here and hold my hand or somebody and tell me not to do it and shut my computer off or whatever, but for those few moments I'm just so jacked up that I can't help it. So I'm ruining myself, and I know that, but I can't help it. I'll probably go postal or something someday, and I can't help that either. I've done that several times actually, and haven't been booked on any charges yet. Haven't been convicted, but have done some wild shit because of it. In live situations, people want to get a rise, and they get more than a rise. Some get shot. Okay, from Carlos Medina Ramirez, Squier guitars. Okay, you spelled it correctly. Thank you. What's your opinion on them? Okay, all kinds of opinions. Some are great, some suck, just like everything out there. Some of the Squiers were better than Fender USA back in the 80s. Some are better than USA now, being the necks, and then the bodies are all just wood, so it's fine on the CV classic vibe thing, but just the pickups blow and the little electronics. But you can replace those with the Mexican stuff. Put the Mexican controls and stuff in it, and you're fine. The same people make the Mexican guitars as make the American guitars, and I know the parts are slightly different, but the quality is, great. But so the early Squiers, and especially the Squier Protone guitars, Google them if you have to. Superb. But anything from Japan, Squier will kick anything American's butt from Fender. Okay, let's read the rest of his thing. I've been watching your videos for a while, and I've learned 2 or 3 things I didn't know about, especially that one you made explaining on how amp wattage works and such. That helped me a lot. Thanks in advance, man. Cheers. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate it, buddy. Next, I guess half of it has to be on the page before it, which will be page turner, page turner. Okay, from David Risley. Hi Scott, my question is, I have recently wanted to buy a Jackson Kelly. Okay, by Jackson or by Fender? I guess we'll find out. I like the looks. Okay, don't kill me. Anyways, I came across one of your Jackson guitar reviews, and you mentioned Jackson, the company, isn't as good now as it was in the past. True? And not true. Depends. Is there any chance I could find a quality Jackson Kelly, or do I need to think about having a custom made one? Okay, so if you have a custom made one, it's just going to still be a Fender guitar, which Fender Custom Shop ain't great unless you can get a hold of, and he's probably so tired, I would think. Here's the last one I had that he made the one-off before he even went to the Fender Custom Shop was good God, one guy will always do a good job, but like I said, he's probably bored now. You guys will let me know. But anyway, go to the old ones. Go to Jackson when it was owned by Grover Jackson. He's such a moron and he can't play anymore. Grover Jackson. He's not bright, but he made great guitars. However, that happened. But he's lost it and he's gone, and he's still put out things that said Grover Jackson because the name Jackson was sold. But the Grover Jackson stuff was shit. He'd already lost his marbles by then and so forth. So just, yeah, try to find an old one if you can. That's not made by Fender, and if it is made by Fender and you like it, just grab it. So hard to say there, and I think they're great looking axes. Or you can just swap out, if you find one that feels good, swap out the pickups to whatever works for you. But if they're stock and you like it, get it. It's just all about what you dig. But yeah, the real Jackson guitars, it's kind of like Leo Fender. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing because he didn't play guitar, and Grover Jackson can't hardly play a fucking guitar, and he's lost his mind. But I don't think Leo ever lost his mind, but he still never learned to play. So it's hard to say which is what. But me playing all the custom shop Jacksons from Fender and the USA Jacksons from Jackson, and not the Japanese or Korean or Indonesian made Jackson bullshit. If you can afford the old ones, grab one for sure, but just try out everything. Okay? So it's just a hard one to say there. You know, get what you love. How am I looking? Damn, these go by too quick. Wesley Murphy. This has to be my buddy. Did he change his thing again? His avatar? I'll have to find out. I watched the whole video to make sure you weren't blocking people again. My question is, if Ed Roman's custom shop is worth the money and the trip from Maryland. They will be once they reopen again. It's supposed to be November, I'm sorry. Do you think they would make fake guitars that look 100% genuine? They're not doing that anymore. An example of something they might do is stamp the end of the neck so it looks like a vintage Stratocaster. Yeah, they're doing away with, they used to be called Fabulous Fakes. They're still making them look like the real guitars, but they're not putting Fender logos or anything. That's over with. So now there's actually some class in the place. So yeah, everything will say Roman on the headstock, because I'm having something built there too, and it will say Roman instead of Jackson on the headstock, because I'm doing a Vinnie Vincent, double V thing, but going to make it all countrified with my 3 lace sensors and blah 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 on it. So yeah, they're great people and great builders, and I played a whole bunch of them when I was just there buying. I bought 4 guitars over there when I just went there, and Scott and Sean were the 2 guys there, and I played a bunch of Ed's Pearlcasters and other things, and just even the Curbo bass I bought is the, come to find out, it's actually a 96, not a 2005. But this bass was actually Ed's personal favorite bass, and they used this to make the fake, not the fake, but the, well, I guess they did do some fakes, but no longer. But this is the exact one they used to make their versions of it, which are identical in every single way, but now they say Roman on the headstock instead of Curbo. So they're doing things according to the law now, or according to just flat out being decent people. So, but yeah, the work is stellar. They have some good luthiers there. Gary Vivoda again, my friend. I know I'll have to get the name right someday. It's just Gary. Hey Scott, I have some conga drums. The heads are made out of buffalo hide. They seem to be drying out some. Should I put some neat's foot oil on them? I don't know. I really don't know about animal hides. This is the oil we used to put on our baseball gloves. Sounds okay, but I don't know. Or should I use something else to prolong the life of them? Thank you. Cheers, Gary. Gary, if I knew, I would tell you about it. I have no clue. No idea at all. So, I can't apologize enough, so I won't keep apologizing, but I just honestly don't know about actual animal skin things at all. My wife's ex-husband was a taxidermist, and I'm sure he would let me know, but as of me shooting this now, no idea, buddy. I'm sorry. Wesley Murphy. Again, I couldn't resist commenting on this. In my experience, the Affinity Strat had the best neck I ever played. Everything else was a piece of shit. Oh, I guess he's commenting on somebody else's thing, so he's answering a question for me. Some of those do. I've had some Affinity things here. The Hello Kitty Strat I had here had a wonderful neck on it. Just amazing fucking neck. Made in China, I think, or Indonesia. But anybody can build a guitar, people. You know, it don't matter where it's from. It's just a matter of finding the right hunk of wood, or the right hunk of carbon graphite, or the right anything. If it, again, that's when I came across the Curbo bass. They were like, "How do you like that?" After I just got done playing a bunch of Olympics and Zons and what's my Moonstones and everything I was trying out there, I just grabbed that, and I'd played some Curbos before and was, okay, whatever, but I picked that one up, and it's like, again, same story. They said, how'd it feel? I said, it feels like home. I said, it just write it up, whatever it costs, and they did, and it was 10 grand, and did it actually cost that back then, or is it going for that? I doubt it, but that's what it went for, since it was such a special bass to Ed instead of whatever. But I didn't care what they charged me, or if I was getting ripped or not. I would have paid double for it. I don't care. It's, you know, and again, a Squier neck could be every bit as good, and the Affinity series even. So that Hello Kitty neck, I didn't want to let it go, but they can come from anywhere. So when it feels right, work with it. If you have to take it off and throw the rest of the guitar away, but put that on something else. Again, another big thumbs up for bolt-on necks. Take that perfect neck and put it on any body that you like. You know, at least you have the perfect neck, and you can sand it off and do whatever you want with the headstock. And but shit, that's another thing why bolt-ons. Everything about bolt-ons is way superior to everything else. They sustain more. They do everything, and everybody's going to write. It's already proven, people. People like, prove it. It's like, it's been proven a million fucking times. It's like, why do I have to prove things when everything has already been proven by everybody else that have great gear? I used to have all the gear, the frequency analyzers and everything. I do still have the peak noise generator and frequency analyzer in my PA and the van, and I've done all the tests, and I've been doing it forever. And yes, bolt-on necks do actually have more sustain than any other thing. Than even, yes, the neck grooves are last, and then your glue-in necks with the glue gasket are in the middle. But bolt-on necks have the most sustain out of other guitars. It's just the results of the tests. Of my test and everybody else's test. I knew this before I tested them, but get with the thing. So yeah, grab a great bolt-on neck, no matter what it says on it now, and write your own name on it and sand off the old one, but don't put fake decals on there of different names. That's just against the law. The decal itself is against the law. And then if you try to resell it as something else, and that's against the law. But to even own or resell the decal to begin with that says Fender on it is illegal. Fender won't sell you one. So, anyway, I hate thieves and liars and people who break the law in that kind of way. Where am I? Okay. X minor 79. Do you ever regret how you reacted toward that lady who wouldn't stop requesting a song at the show you posted on YouTube? Oh, when I called her a fucking cunt, told her to get the fuck out. Hell no. I do that to a lot of people, and they deserve it. I don't ever apologize for that shit. If people suck and if they're drunk and they're up there and giving me a hard time, fuck them. I will shoot them. I will kick their ass. I will cuss them out like a bitch, make them look like the fucking tards they are. If people are a piece of shit, they deserve to be treated like one. So I'll pull the gun if I have to. I will go out there and beat the holy fuck out of them if I have to. Whatever it takes. If the bouncer in there when I ask for it, they're getting fucked up if they're fucking with me enough. So no, I don't regret that in the slightest. You know, I wish I would have just fucked her up just so everybody could see me fuck somebody up on YouTube. You know, but then some people get arrested over posting such things. So I did just fine, and I said, would you kindly get the fuck out? So if anybody wonders what the hell I'm talking about, just put in on my channel, Scott Grove, and just put the word drunk. Okay? You'll see it. Okay, next. Somebody already asked me this one. This is bronchitis. What's the meaning of life? I did that one. Next one. Maca Tune Army. If you had to start your pedal collection from scratch, which is null, which would be the first 5 pedals you would buy? I don't need 5. I need the Boss CS3 compressor and my Morley PVO volume pedal, and that's it. There you go. That's all I use anyway. So, and I do have a Morley wah down here, which sometimes I use now and sometimes I don't. But would I get it again? Maybe. But that's it. That's all I use. All the other effects are in my amp. Okay, next. Mike G. I want to enhance the finish on my Gibson Les Paul Custom Dagnabid. What the hell is a Dagnabid? He wants to enhance the finish. Well, the finish sucks on them because they're nitro and they're going to be all over the place and they're going to be cracked and blah blah blah. It says it's a 1976 and it's got a distinctly faded look now. That's because it's nitro and it sucks. Do you think there's a certain type of product I should try? Yeah, unless you want to. If you want it to go good, have it refinished and have it done in poly instead of nitro, and it'll never dull ever. Nitro blows dog when it comes to finishes, and Gibson cannot do a finish on a guitar. Epiphone, you're in the polys, and the finish will stay fine forever. So that's that. Cheers, Scott. When you've gone from this mortal coil, they'll realize what you've done. Respect one of these and all that shit. Shiz. Appreciate it, buddy. But yeah, just get a nice poly finish put on there. Get rid of that nasty shit and you're going to be fine. Get a real finish is what I'm trying to say. Next. From, I see this person all the time, Christian K. I have some questions. Well, that's what we're here for. And what age did you get your first guitar, and what brand? Again, 9 years old, 58 Les Paul was the first one, Gibson. What is the name of your rack tuners, and how old are they? I've got a whole bunch of rack tuners. All of them are Korg. There's two over here. What are they? The DT1 Pros. Here's one down here. I think it's the DT2. The Tone Works. They're still a Korg thing. I've got like 4 of those. How old are they? 10 years probably. What is your favorite food? Oh, that one I answered. And also, I'm going to add to the old one, which was the Hawaiian bread with spinach dip. But I'm going to add to it, which is what we call in Indiana beef Manhattan. Everywhere else they just call it a hot beef sandwich, but it's just the bread, the mashed potatoes thrown on top of there, then the beef and the gravy on top of that. I'm all for it. Anytime you can throw that together. Have you ever tried the T-Bone wireless system? Nope. This Sennheiser EW100 is my favorite wireless. Actually, I hate to say it, but Line 6 makes a great wireless. Sennheiser is generally my choice, though. I must have some advice because I'm soon fins by a wireless system. I need the less expensive but still very good wireless system. Okay, if you're going that route, if you need a cheap ass wireless system, always go True Diversity. Always go UH. True Diversity, you're going to have 2 antennas. Get something that has more than one channel so that it will switch channels instead of just switching antennas. And go UHF, not VHF. Okay? As long as you have those, you're good. And don't buy it really used because old anyway. Look up, because they sold the actual frequency ranges of most guitar wirelesses a few years back, so a lot of them aren't any good anymore. They actually like sold the airwaves, so like when your favorite radio station is now gone and it's something else, yeah, they sold the frequencies that most wirelesses ran on. So watch out for that. But True Diversity, remember that, just write that down. UHF, and something that's multi-channel that can switch channels on its own so it can get on a different frequency. And like somebody with the walkie-talkies coming through and all, CB radios, then your shit will jump to a different frequency without letting that through, because that will shred your speakers quicker and shit, and your PA horns if it blasts through there like the really loud CBs do, the home bases. Okay, next, wholesome value. Do you like the Neil Young albums? I don't like Neil Young, even though some people say I look like him, or Jack Black, or who's the other guy? Meatloaf. Yeah, I just never liked him. So I don't. Something called On the Beach and Tonight's the Night. Do you like Townes Van Zandt? Wish I knew who that was. So don't like Neil Young, don't know the albums, and don't know what a Townes Van Zandt is. I've met Van Zandt's family, as far as if they're from the same Van Zandts from Skinner, but down in Waycross, Georgia, playing in a club there. I've got a picture of us with them. Okay, so that's that. I wish I knew something, but I don't have an answer there. Chris Haley, if you had to estimate how many people have you blocked over the course of your YouTube career, I'd say at least 5,000, probably at least. I'm big on it because I think most people, again, I hate everybody for the most part until they give me a reason to like them. So one little thing, I just block them, and I never have to deal with them again until they change their name, get a new account the very next day, which so many do for some fucking reason. But yeah, at least 5,000 for sure. Young Frusclanti, do you drink alcohol? No. If yes, no, why? I just quit drinking at 21, quit smoking pot at 21, and just didn't want to end up like everybody that I saw in every bar that I played at. Everybody was so fucked up all the time. It's just like, I don't want to end up like these morons, so I just, when it was legal for me to drink, I quit. But I was up in Canada at the time, in Fernie, British Columbia, and then I quit drinking and put out my last doobie, and Now they're making marijuana legal too. Best thing I ever did. And if not, why? Okay, peace from Jamie in Scotland. Appreciate it. Hey, I've got time for maybe one quick one. Depends on if I can flip this page quick enough. From NAGTCH. It says, what is your opinion on budget guitars in general, i.e. Gibson Epiphone line, Mexican, Japanese Fenders, Ibanez Geo. Okay, I've answered all these, but Gibson Epiphone, fine guitars, just have to change, as far as the new shit, most likely you'll have to change out the electronics and the pickups. Other than that, better finishes by far, just as good of the guitar as the rest of them, so find a good one and change out the electronics. Mexican and Japanese Fenders are better than USA ones, pretty much all the time. Okay, Japanese always on top, always, always, always. Fender ones are made by the same workers. They just work double shifts across the state or across the border and go work 8 hours here, go over there and work 8 more hours, no overtime because you're in different countries. And Fender has been built by people from Mexico since day one. Leo Fender just hired unskilled people just to screw them together. It takes no brains at all other than just soldering and doing, just show them how to do it and they build it. And the Mexican stuff is great. What was the other thing? Ibanez Geo, no, that's trash. If Ibanez, anything Ibanez basically that's not made from Japan is shit. It really is. You could try a few things and see if you like it. It's all up to you when it gets to that. You know, everything's your preference. Try them if you like them, but Geo is just basically known as being the crap stuff, but way worse than the other stuff that you mentioned. Okay, so I'm going to be done with hour 10 here and do hour 11 next, so I'll be right back. Once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com. Okay, be the 5th caller and win a trip to lovely, what was the name of that damn place? Moose Jaw, Alberta, Canada. Okay, I'll expect your call. Bye.